So here are the rules that I use for my trend trading techniques. But before I start, quick disclaimer, I'm not a financial advisor. You must not take this as advice, it really isn't. And if you do copy me, you do it entirely at your own risk. I share this simply in the spirit with which other authors have expressed and published their opinions. Okay, so I don't know what asset class is going to do well and what's going to do badly, so I look at them all. Shares, property, gold, commodities and bonds. I'll invest no more than 20% of my pot into any one of these asset classes. So if my investment pot, for instance, had £10,000, I would invest no more than £2,000 in any one of the asset classes. And the reason for this is to spread the risk, of course. Now, I only want to be invested in asset classes that are rising and in cash if the investment is falling. And the aim is to benefit from the upside of investing but avoid the downside. This is the FTSE 100, so the biggest 100 companies on the UK stock exchange. I use graphing software to see whether things are rising or falling. I use SharePad, which I'm happy to pay for, but I can use big charts, which is free. So I look at the charts once a week and that's it. If I look every day, it's far too confusing. Now the green line is a moving average, and if the close price is above the green line, I want to stay invested because the price is trending up. And when the price closes below the green line, I want to be in cash because the price may be headed down. And when the price next closes above the green line, I reinvest into the asset class, hopefully buying in again at a lower price. Now, I look at the graphs when the markets are closed, Saturday and Sunday, and it means I can take my time and I'm not under any pressure. I had a signal on the graph this week. The price had closed up above the green line, and this to me is a signal to buy. So on the next trading day, which is usually a Monday, unless it's a bank holiday, I invested 20% of my investment pot into this sector. And I like the system because there's no discretion. Here, for instance, the price has closed below the green line, there's no signal, and here it's closed above the green line. This is a buy signal, so it's binary. And I let the graphs decide whether I make the investment or not. Now for exposure to shares, I use a fund to give me a general exposure to the sector. I do the same with property. For gold, I use an ETF, an exchange traded fund, and for commodities, I also use a fund. Bonds, I use 3 differently denominated exchange traded funds. One denominated in pounds, one in euros, and one in US dollars, just to give me a bit of currency hedging. Now, I don't trade in and out of bonds because their prices are relatively stable, so it makes sense just to hold on to them. So all I have to do each weekend is look at 4 graphs and see whether I should be in that asset or in cash. So for instance here, shares, the graph is telling me to stay invested. Property, here the graph is telling me to stay invested. Gold, the close price here is below the green line, so that's telling me to stay in cash. For commodities here, the graph is telling me to stay invested. In fact, this is a recent new signal. Bonds, as I said, I don't trade in and out of them, I just keep them, so no decisions are required here. And this gives me my traffic light signals for the week. So for this week just gone, in this example, shares are a green, properties are a green, gold is a red, so that's cash, commodities green, bonds are always a green on my system. So I invested in 4 out of 5 asset classes, and the only asset class in which I'm not invested in this example is gold. So many weeks I don't have to do anything, which is perfect. For instance, the shares fund has been on a buy here for the past 2.5 years. But trend trading does lose money when markets are not trending like here. So this property fund during this period of time whipsawed up and down, creating false signals which lost me money. And of course that was stressful. But I see that as a price I pay for being able to exit a market when it's falling, which means that I have a plan. And this puts me in a very different situation to most investors. It's a long-term system that will, I hope, give good returns and protect me from market downturns. So I hope you've enjoyed this introduction to my style of trend trading. Follow what I do by signing up to my free mailing list. Members of my website get more detailed information about what I trade in real time via a private Facebook page. So why don't you join us? Now, this is important, so have a read of this. Thanks for watching this video, and I look forward to seeing you, hopefully, as a member of my website. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.